Alright, so we managed to reach a deal for the debt ceiling. But before we actually continue, just to let you guys know how the debt ceiling actually work. Basically, the Republicans, which is currently the House of Representative Kevin McCarthy, he's going to be coming out. He's going to be talking to President Joe Biden. So, talking about how they might most likely be moving the debt ceiling up for the 79th time since inception. Okay, but currently in principle they are actually already going to be moving it upwards. I'm going to be voicing my opinions on why this is such a bad idea for what Kevin McCarthy did. Okay, not because of raising the debt limit, because I think that is most definitely needed for us to actually avoid a default, because we definitely need to do so. But the thing is, what Kevin McCarthy actually tried to negotiate for the GOP's wasn't exactly the best. Okay, let's talk about what was actually talked about. Okay, the first of all, what Kevin McCarthy actually fought for was spending levels to actually be about the same. Currently, for non-defense spending, they will actually keep it around the same level for 2023 and 2024. In 2025, they're going to be increasing it by 1%. Again, you're not really helping with the spending cuts when you're gonna be telling them, oh, don't worry about it, in 2025 you will be increasing the spending again. Okay, not exactly the best, because in 2025 we're gonna be getting the debt ceiling talk all over again, and then you're gonna be talking about this whole entire spending all over again, which is why pretty annoying. Okay, military spending would be roughly at the same level for 2024. And then afterwards, they're going to be saying that if this deal also have this provision that forces a 1% cut in the government spending if all 12 appropriation bills aren't passed by the end of the year, according to people, that are actually in this matter. Next up, we talked about food aid. Okay, food aid are basically a deal talking about people who have liabilities such as dependents, such as the children and such. But of course, this only happens for people who are able-bodied. So previously, it was at 49. They are actually forced to continue to work. Right now, the age went up to 54. This way, you actually kind of increase the work efficiency in the whole country, and of course, this way you can get an additional 5 more years of taxes from these people as well. So basically, this to the adults up to 54 years old, they can actually receive benefits for no more than 3 months within a 3-year period, unless they are working or enrolled in a work program. Okay, so next up, IRS funding. Okay, they're going to be cutting $10 billion from the IRS that they actually wanted to use to increase the tax enforcement. Okay, previously they were actually thinking about providing them $80 billion for IRS to actually go on with the technology, to innovate, for them to actually go around to collect more taxes. But right now they're going to be cutting $10 billion off of that whole entire ordeal. Next up, unspent COVID-19 money. They actually talked about it because the unspent COVID-19 money, previously we had about leftover about $29 billion or so. They wanted to actually use the money to kind of use it as a reserve for any sort of medical situation that might arise in the next 1 year or 2 year. But end up, we're going to be taking back this $29 billion. Basically just to say that we're going to be giving back this $29 billion back to Congress, hoping that this will kind of butter a deal out of this whole entire thing. So yeah, currently that's all we kind of have for the whole entire deal. Right now, what's going to be happening today is the 30th of May that I'm making this video. 30th of May. Right now, it's barely the market open. The market is open for about 30 minutes only. Right now, they are going to be talking about this whole entire thing if this deal actually goes over to Senate. Okay, for this deal to actually go over the Senate, right now, the GOPs have to kind of also vote if they want to follow on with this Kevin McCarthy deal. Personally, I think that this is such a bad Kevin McCarthy deal. Okay, because we're talking about GOPs. Okay, right now, let's put politics aside. Okay, we're putting politics aside. We're just talking about this debt ceiling situation. The whole point of this whole entire debt ceiling situation is that we want to ensure that we are cutting spending before we actually raise the debt limit. Okay, that's the whole point. In the past 78 times that we have been raising the debt limit, suspending the debt limit, what they always have to confirm, or at least have a a clear path to is to say that, okay, you want to be cutting spending. I want to see where you're going to be cutting your spending to, which bill are you going to be cutting your spending to, where can we be getting more money from, that sort of thing. But right now, they're going to be suspending this debt limit by $4 trillion with a T, okay, for $4 trillion, okay, and they are basically going to be cutting like what, $80 billion or like even lesser, which is why I think it's kind of sad. They are barely getting like 10% of what they are even supposed to be doing, okay, which is why I think that that's not really going to be solving the problem. They are barely at 100 bill, and they're not going to be solving the problem with those cuts. And in return, in the next 2 years, they are going to be printing more than $4 trillion. Let's be honest. And I think that that's just going to be dangerous spending. That's going to be done by the federal budget as well. Okay, so right now the whole entire debt ceiling, they are going to be facing their first test. Okay, because the thing is that by the fifth, I believe, by the fifth, they are going to be coming up with this whole entire thing, where they have to come up with a decision. Democrats, most likely you're gonna see all the Democrats gonna okay this bill because they want to pass this bill, especially the people in Biden's camp. On the GOPs, however, there's going to be a huge percentage of people who still want to pass this bill simply because they actually managed to reach a deal, and then they know that any more negotiation from here on out is going to possibly cause a default. Hence, they're going to be okaying this bill as well. But of course, there are going to be some politicians that think that Kevin McCarthy kind of screwed up on this deal, where they are not really bringing down any sort of federal spending, and if anything, they're going to be bringing up federal spending in the long term. So I don't know. Personally, I don't think that we're going to default anymore. I think that because by coming out with this deal in principle, you actually already fought 80% of the battle. Because the thing is that the moment there is a deal on the table, that means that people just have to vote on it. The moment people have to vote on it, chances are it's going to the Senate. Okay, you want to stop this from going to the Senate, you really need a huge opposition to happen. And when a huge opposition is actually forming, chances are we are probably going to be seeing it in the news. We're probably going to see it in the market as well. Right now, the market is still going upwards. Of course, in the morning, the Nasdaq was actually up almost 2%. Right now, the Nasdaq is actually down a little bit. Nasdaq is currently down. Well, it's still up by like about half a percent. Okay, so my short portfolio right now is still getting attacked a little bit, but it's recovering just a tinsy tiny bit. But yeah, probably I will go through more about the whole entire macroeconomic with the whole entire market data in the next video, because I do want to talk a little bit more about Nvidia being the next $1 trillion capper, which is number 6 right now in the whole entire world. I think because right behind Amazon right now, Nvidia should be the next trillion capper. I'm happy that they actually reached past the $1 trillion cap. But like I said before, it's very easy for them to actually topple out of the $1 trillion cap. So just hope it actually lasts. Right now, previously it actually went all the way to $419 in like the past 20 minutes. Right now they are actually down to about 407. They actually tumbled down about like $12 or so. Nothing too crazy. I hope they actually closed off by being in the $1 trillion cap. If not, then technically it doesn't really count. So yeah, I will be making a video more on the macroeconomic probably next week. And of course, the week after, I will be talking about CPI, because there's going to be a pretty hot topic about how sticky inflation is going to be again. And that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.